In the fall of 2010, Mattel brand Monster High released their first TV special, New Ghoul at School, not to be confused with the 2015 video game New Ghoul in School. It aired on the channel Nickelodeon in the US on Halloween. If anyone understands how to take advantage of a holiday, it's Monster High. While Generation 3 of Monster High has amazing dolls even compared to Gen 1, the media for Generation 1 knocks it out of the park. Between the films and the webisodes, even the books, all of which explore different sides to Monster High, although they did each have their own continuity. This film helped kickstart a truly exceptional world of unique characters. Directed by Adol Paden and Eric Radomski, and produced by Vincent Edwards, Ira Singerman, and Shannon Nettleton. It utilized 2D flash animation by WildBrain Entertainment, which I think they used in a fun and creative way, even if it is a bit janky in this one. The title is a play on New Girl at School, and IMDb, those information hoarding bastards, gives it a score of 6.8 out of 10. With those details out of the way, let's get into Monster High, New Ghoul at School. The special begins with the Monster High Fright song, sung by the talented Wendy Wagner and written by Wendy Trilling and High Five Project. Scenes from the webisodes and candid shots of the characters are shown, introducing us to the main ghouls. Frankie Stein, daughter of Frankenstein's monster, voiced by Kate Higgins; Draculaura, daughter of Dracula, voiced by Debbie Derryberry; Claudine Wolfe, daughter of the Wolfman, voiced by Sally Saffioti; Laguna Blue, daughter of a sea monster, voiced by Laura Bailey; Cleo Denau, daughter of the Mummy, also voiced by Sally Saffioti; and Deuce Gorgon, son of Medusa, voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Then we get the title New Ghoul at School and transition to a black and pink notebook as Frankie begins narrating. It's her first week at school, she's only 15 days old, and she relies on magazines for advice on how to navigate high school, and life in general. I'm assuming her love of magazines is a parallel to how Frankenstein's monster reads books to relate to others. Monday goes by, she doesn't make any friends, nothing eventful happen. Tuesday comes around.
Ooh, Tuesday light me up.
And she meets Deuce, sort of. Frankie then drops her books as Cleo and Gulia, daughter of the zombies, enter the classroom, and Cleo trips over Frankie. Immediately, Cleo is mad and casts Frankie into the darkest depths of the social hierarchy. As class begins, Frankie is lost in thought on how to make friends. She seeks guidance from the Oracle, an advice column, as Draculaura pops up, down. She instantly starts chatting up Frankie, naturally friendly. Class ends and we see Gulia go up to the board and solve the equation. She is best girl.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Drac and Frankie continue talking in the hallway. Frankie tells her she doesn't have a boyfriend. Then they run to avoid a zombie flash mob and are saved by Claudine pulling them into the bathroom at the last second. Well, more like they fall into the bathroom. Claudine is introduced, asking Draculaura who the fresh blood is, causing Drac to nearly faint. She's a vegan vampire, so she doesn't do well around blood. Can I just say, I love the attention to detail in having Draculaura's reflection be invisible, save for her clothes and earrings. It's touches like that that really make the world of Monster High feel so real. The ghouls have a bonding moment before leaving after the zombies have moved on. Claudine and Drac tell Frankie to text them, forgetting that she doesn't have their numbers. Frankie is feeling a bit hopeful having made two almost friends and decides to try joining different clubs and school activities to try and make friends, a common method of friend making that Ned Bigby would be proud of. She doesn't do too well at the chess club. Swim team goes about as badly as you'd expect from a girl with 200,000 volts of electricity running through her. She even fumbles community service when Cleo shows up and grills her on the petition she has. As Cleo reaches for the pen, she gets shocked by a nervous Frankie. Then we get a little montage of a sad Frankie wandering around the school as people avoid hanging out with her. Scars by Alison Iraheta plays over the scene. Then Frankie pulls herself together.
Oh my God, pull yourself together!
And tries out for fear leading, but uh-oh, she has to impress Cleo, the captain of the fear leading team. Cleo demonstrates their cheer routine as Fright Song plays. When she's done, the other ghouls flee, leaving Frankie behind, who does a good job until her foot flies off mid-performance. It lands in Cleo's drink, splashing it all over her. Frankie runs off crying and runs into Laguna at the school swimming pool. She cheers her up, telling Frankie that maybe she's trying too hard and she needs to just be herself. But then Frankie reads a magazine telling her not to be herself and takes that advice instead.
Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind?
She then daydreams about showing up in a killer outfit and impressing everyone. Deuce pulls her out of her thoughts. Then Heath Burns tries hitting on her. Deuce turns his friend to stone and drags him off, apologizing to Frankie for what happened and how creepy he was. Drac and Claudine show up, telling her that Cleo wants to give her another chance, since what she did took guts. Laguna looks on in dismay as she sees Frankie ready to ignore the advice she gave her. Thursday, Frankie gets ready with the glitterati, her mischief of lab rats, and prepares to do whatever it takes to impress Cleo. At school, Drac and Claudine help quiz Frankie on everything she'll need to know. Then Deuce comes down the hall at the mention of boys, and Frankie is distracted by his friendliness. Honestly, Frankie is so me-coded in this moment because I too fall for every guy who shows me the slightest bit of kindness.
This is the worst.
In the creepateria, Cleo and Ghoulia are set up for the interview as Frankie and the ghouls come in. So far, Frankie is doing good. Her and Cleo even bond a bit over Justin Bieber, a parody of Justin Bieber, who Frankie says her dad helped resurrect his career. Then comes the question of a boyfriend, and Frankie panics, but when she sees Deuce, she lies, saying he's her boyfriend, to Cleo's utter shock. Cleo ends the interview and storms off, yelling at Deuce for having a new girlfriend, and exits the creepateria. Scars begins playing again as Cleo and Frankie both cry. Frankie bumps into Laguna, who says everyone knows what happened. She's disappointed in the choices that Frankie made to not be herself, and walks away, causing her to cry even more. Which, honestly, I get. People don't realize how much effort you have to put in purposely to be yourself. It's an active skill that you need to work on, and high school isn't always the most inviting place to cultivate this skill. So showing kids that being yourself isn't just good, it's good for you, because pretending can hurt people in the end, including yourself. Anyway, as the song fades out, Frankie finds a crying Cleo, who tells her, hasn't she done enough? Friday rolls around. Frankie is the school pariah and feels bad for all the pain she caused. As she struggles to open her locker, she's wondering how she can make it up to the others. When she finally opens her locker, there's a magazine cover of Justin Bieber, which gives her an idea. She runs into Claudine and Draculaura in the bathroom. Claudine is trying to help Drac put on her makeup, but Frankie apologizes for everything she did and asks for the ghouls to allow her to make things right. When Claudine and Drac turn around, Draculaura has seriously fucked up her lipstick. I actually burst out laughing at this part. Claudine and Drac lure Cleo to a meeting in the hall with Frankie and Deuce. Cleo is, rightfully, upset at being tricked, but hears Frankie out. Frankie apologizes profusely and admits to lying about her dating Deuce. Cleo is still upset, but double checks with Deuce, who just smiles and says nothing. A man of few words. Cleo doesn't forgive her though, about to dig into Frankie when she interrupts her to tell her she wants to make it up to her and gestures off screen. Ghoulia, what would we do without my girl? She opens the door to reveal bright lights and Frankie leads Cleo into the light. Frankie has set up a live performance from Justin Bieber. She tells Cleo that her dad resurrecting the pop star was one of the few true things she said. We then transition to the ghouls dancing in their Dawn of the Dance outfits, quickly wrapping up any bad blood between Cleo and Frankie, and cementing her friendship with the ghouls. Cleo tells her she's on probation but made the team, and admits the ghoul does have style. Frankie narrates how she doesn't have to be a tryhard as the music comes to a crescendo, and all the ghouls are dancing on stage together. And that's how the story ends. For an introductory special, it does a good job of establishing the core cast and their likes, dislikes, and flaws. Frankie takes center stage and usually will narrate most specials going forward. It does take suspension of disbelief to think someone would behave the way Frankie did, but hey, teens are capable of anything. This special was only 22 minutes, so the plot was rushed and we didn't really get a B plot, just little bits like Ghoulia solving the equation on the chalkboard. That will change as the length of the films increase. Draculaura and Claudine's close friendship is established from the get-go. Love how inseparable these two are. I can see why some people ship them.
Gay!
Cleo is a great character in this. Mean girl energy embodied perfectly, and I like how she became the victim so quickly with one lie told by Frankie. If I were Cleo, I could see how it looked like Frankie was trying to purposely hurt me by stealing my man. I'd also feel betrayed by Deuce and Frankie. Not to mention all the other things Frankie accidentally did, like tripping Cleo or splashing her drink on her, which could look purposeful as well. In regards to the Dawn of the Dance outfits, I know most people feel they're one of the best lines from G1, but I honestly am not a fan. It's not that it's bad, just other lines I feel far outshine them. That aside, out of all the outfits, Claudine is my favorite. Purple and green really do her justice. That's all I have to share on the matter for now, though. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, leave a like, and subscribe to keep up with the latest shenanigans. Bye!
Bye!